Hi folks, welcome to The Financial Argument. Yes, I know, I haven't uploaded any new videos for a long time. The last few months have been the hardest of my life. Fortunately, everything is better now. I've read all the wonderful comments and emails you've sent, and thank you very much for your patience throughout this process. In today's video, I'll discuss China's plans to crash the global economy. We're smelling a rat coming from China again. And this video is important for you to understand what's going on in order to reconsider your financial preparations. Before we get started, allow me a brief detour. Some viewers asked for my advice on books to read, so I want to recommend a fiction book that I recently picked up and enjoyed. It's called Renee, St. Mary's Virus, published back in 2018 by Anthony Nana Kwamu. As I read the book, I saw some strong connections between the book and the content we discuss here at Financial Argument. I've warned you about the coming economic crisis for years, although my warnings were not taken seriously by some at first. The St. Mary's virus, as described in the book, was also largely ignored and downplayed when the alarm was initially sounded. By the time people realized how deadly it had evolved out of control and it was too late. There's a link in the description where you can find Renee St. Mary's Virus. It's available for purchase through Amazon, and there's also an audiobook available. Let's get into detail about China's devastating plan. In many of my videos throughout the past year, I've analyzed China's incredible food stockpiling and their preparation for the upcoming planned global food crisis, its role in the planned container crisis, and its geopolitical moves. Today, I'll address another of China's dark plans, namely the reason behind their recent heavy hand against Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. The Chinese government has imposed many bans and restrictions on Bitcoin and other cryptos in the past, so this is nothing new. However, the bans announced on the 24th of September were on another level, even for China, and unprecedented in history. China announced that all transactions of cryptocurrencies are illegal and therefore banned. China has also announced that it will no longer provide electricity to crypto miners. This is very serious because although we've been accustomed to many restrictions and bans against cryptocurrencies by China, we need to understand what might be behind the most recent drastic and complete ban. China was once the largest crypto mining country in the world, amassing over 75% of the global mining rate at its peak. Some even claim that Bitcoin was controlled by China. It's clear now that this is not the case, because we see a deeper and longer-term plan coming to pass. So why is China launching its campaign against Bitcoin? Let's go back a few years and take a look at a March 26, 2018 news report released by China's official news agency and its largest and most influential media power. The title of the report reads, "China launches crude oil futures trading." This might seem like ordinary news at first glance, but that's not the case. For the first time in its history, China was trading crude oil future contracts with the Yuan currency. This development created a new monetary system called Petroyuan. As many of you know, Richard Nixon ended the dollar convertibility to gold in 1971. Later, the petrodollar system was announced, and the entire world was forced to trade oil in US dollars. Over the years, all kinds of troubles have befallen the leaders and their countries who tried to deviate from the petrodollar system. In my view, these are the last days of the petrodollar system, and although it currently exists as the world's leading monetary system, it's in the stage of collapse and will eventually disintegrate. China began preparing for a new monetary system in foresight of the collapse of the petrodollar system. Therefore, March 2018 should be remembered as an important time in economic history. In the last few years, this event was almost never covered in the mainstream media nor discussed at large. However, this event is key to understanding China's pressure against Bitcoin. The new Petroyuan system is explained in detail in the piece "What is Petroyuan?" by FXCM in 2018. I will add a link to the description section if anyone wants to read it. It states that the Petroyuan is backed by gold, unlike the petrodollar. Further along, in a Nikkei Asia article in 2017, about a year before the Petroyuan was announced, it's mentioned that China wanted to create a new world order by establishing a new oil benchmark and backing it with gold. So how will China back this system with gold? As China benchmarks yuan payments when purchasing oil with yuan futures contracts in Shanghai stock markets, it's also launching yuan-denominated gold contracts on these exchanges. To understand this better, consider this scenario. You, as an oil company, sell your oil to China and receive the payment in yuan. At the same time, China gives you the opportunity to convert the yuan you've received into gold. Of course, the country that's most pleased with this trade is Russia, which sells the most oil to China. We already know that Russia's plans include removing the dollar hegemony and switching to the gold-based system. So this new monetary system is also a great opportunity for Russia. This begs the question of whether China possesses enough gold to support this system. In the table, you can see the gold reserves of the largest gold-holding countries worldwide as of June 2021. The United States of America is at the top of the list with 8,133 tons of gold, followed by Germany with 3,359 tons, Italy with 2,451 tons, France with 2,436 tons, Russia with 2,292 tons, and China in sixth with 1,948 tons. In recent years, China's official gold reserves have increased, but there's been no official statement released to say exactly how much. Many in economic circles often speculate that China has more gold than stated in its official reserves. Despite this, it's almost impossible for China to support the Petroyuan system with only about 2,000 tons of gold as declared in their official figures. There is another detail that caught my attention. Take a look at this Xinhua news article from October 2017, released exactly 1 month after the Petroyuan news began to surface in September 2017. It states that China's proven gold reserves are approximately 12,100 tons. So here, China is telling us to trust their gold-backed monetary system because it has more gold reserves than the United States or any other country in the world. When we look at China's Petroyuan system, it's safe to say that they are successful. In June of this year, the crude oil contracts traded in Shanghai made up about 10.5% of the world's volume in comparison to Q2 of 2018. This is a very important ratio because it has almost doubled in such a short period of time. China's hostility and resistance against Bitcoin makes sense. Wired explained this issue and mentioned that China's bans are inevitable. Yes, the ban was inevitable because, as you know, China also has a digital yuan project. The digital yuan is located on a central blockchain operating system under the control of China. According to this plan, China backs the yuan with gold and keeps it under its control on the blockchain by making it digital. Thus, it has created a plan against both the US dollar and Bitcoin. The US dollar is a centralized and unlimited printing currency not backed by gold. Bitcoin, on the other hand, is limited like the digital yuan, but a decentralized cryptocurrency operating under a freer system. China's oppressive leadership is against Bitcoin as its growth is impossible to control. Quartz echoes my thoughts in this recent news publication, describing how China is seeking to combat cryptocurrencies and instead heavily pushing the digital yuan currency. As a communist dictatorship, China isn't exactly a free country. As you know, Xi Jinping had himself elected president for life. With this in mind, it's useful to remember China's social credit system. Under this system implemented by the new administration, billions of Chinese are under state control. Their every move is monitored, and as this new digital yuan system is implemented, financial movements will also be examined. When a citizen in China, or a foreigner for that matter, shows spending preferences or behaviors that the Chinese government does not like, they can be punished under the social credit system. Their internet speed can even be reduced, and they can face flight bans. So a system where China wants full control, decentralized assets like Bitcoin are out of the question. Another issue that the Chinese government is greatly threatened by is large amounts of capital generated in China leaving through cryptocurrencies. In the past years, trillions of dollars have left China in this manner. Most of this money went to real estate investments in Canada and the US. China wants to avoid this and any of its capital from going abroad, which explains why it's so particularly hostile toward cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin. Another crucial detail you don't want to miss: according to research by Kevin Rook, China is the country with the most Bitcoin in the world, with approximately 195,000 Bitcoins obtained by fraudsters. This corresponds to a transaction volume of approximately $11 billion in the crypto markets. This is another card in the hand of China. Even if they quit mining, they pose a great threat to Bitcoin prices with such a large Bitcoin reserve, because they have the power to lower prices by making large Bitcoin sale at any time. Considering that other funds also have Bitcoin, we have to accept that this threat is limited but will have a big impact on the markets. Finally, in addition to all I've said, an even more tremendous problem is awaiting us that has the potential to collapse all world economies. I'm talking about the crisis facing the Chinese real estate company Evergrande Group, valued at $60 trillion. In my next video, I'll analyze in detail the Evergrande crisis, which will create the most disastrous financial crisis the world has ever seen. Please don't forget to subscribe and support the Financial Argument on Patreon and with a channel membership. God bless you all.